am so excited to be here. Day 2 of AAC in the Cloud. This is such a great conference and one of my all-time favorite topics. Used to be very afraid of this topic, but here we go. Now I'm not. It's one of my favorites. So drum roll, here we go. All right. So we are here, predictable chart writing, vocabulary building, and how it makes its mark, and how we can then add some Canva on the side. And if you saw my presentation yesterday, we talked a lot about vocabulary building. And so please go and check that out, the recording of that. So we're gonna just kind of move on to then, all right, we've done this vocabulary building, and now how do we embed that and use that for writing? And how do we take our traditional predictable chart writing and jazz it up a little bit with some Canva? And I have to first start out and do a big shout out to Lauren Enders and Sarah Gregory. I was at ATIA this winter 2022, and they did a presentation on Canva, and the light bulbs just went off. And I'm like, this is what we need to make its mark, to make it exciting and bring this, step it up one more notch for our kids and take it to the next step, right? As our hosts are doing with this whole conference, which I just love. So let's go, let's get into this. Who am I? Sharon Redmon. I am a special education teacher and assistive technology specialist who have been in the field for about 20 years, and a little over 20 years, and I love AAC and AT, and I embed that into everything that we do within my teaching, and make sure that that is always in communication is on the top. I was from Wisconsin, consider myself a Waddy baby, and now I'm all grown up and now into Wattern, which is the Wisconsin Assistive Technology Regional Network. And so go check that out this afternoon. Mike and I are going to be presenting a little bit about him becoming a writer and what that journey looked like for him as an AAC user. So let's get to it. Here we go. You know, Mike and I, whenever we present together, we have this pact that we're always going to talk about this shared language. And I feel like it's not just, I talked about this yesterday, not the foundation, but really the roots, really what makes everything that we grow. I see if we're talking the analogy of a tree, like the trunk is the curriculum that we use, but this shared language, these presumptions, these beliefs that we have, that's the roots, that's the earth, that's everything that grows, that helps this tree grow, right? So, we are moving forward and we're going to have this language together. So when you're in this presentation, you're thinking about your own students, also think about this, that everyone can learn to read and write, everyone. We presume this potential, we presume this confidence with everyone and everything. Right? We also need to understand that I'm not going to be talking about the act of writing, the handwriting, I'm not going to be talking about that piece. We're going to be talking about the purpose or the process of writing, becoming an author, becoming that writer, and what that takes. We're also going to know that we're always attributing meaning. We're always modeling. We are going to provide those access to writings, right? Because you still need that in order to do the process of writing. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but that's just of the access piece. And then having these meaningful opportunities, right? I don't want to write about something that I don't care about. We need to provide some meaningful opportunities, connecting it to powerful text, and then nurturing our AAC users, right, to develop their agency. It's super important that we're able to do that. And with that last one, that developing that agency, and that writing is not just necessary, but it is essential for all AAC users to communicate in using their agency. And that's just, it's a statement. My good friend, Jennifer Schubring, who's an SLP in Wisconsin, part of Wattern with me and Mike, she has a slide on her presentation that talks about, that makes this point that only 5% of our students that graduate that have complex communication needs graduate with an AAC device. How do you have agency and how do you have access to communication if that is the percentage? And we can do better. No, we can. You know, that statistics from McNaughton Alt 2012, but we need to really, and hopefully that has increased, but we need to take it to the next step, right? We need to bring that. And you being here today to talk about writing and to share this journey about one piece and one aspect of building writers, building agency amongst writers, especially our emergent writers and emergent communicators, is a testament of how we are doing that, how we're going to make that number change. So here we go. So this is my book. I tried to find a really good picture online, and this is everything, and it's changed my teaching. So if you don't have it, please run out and get it. You know, I would tell you to stop watching the presentation, but I don't want you to do that. So go and get it after. This book is amazing. So it's comprehensive for our students that have significant disabilities, so they can learn to read and write, because everyone can learn to read and write, and they deserve this. So, excuse me. So in chapter 5, page 79, if you have your book, you can open it up and take a look. We're going to be talking really specifically about predictable chart writing, right? And here are the 5 areas of this predictable chart writing. You know, where you write the chart, you reread it, you work with these sentences, you be the sentence, and then you make and publish a book. That's the end and the ultimate of doing our writing, right? And becoming an author is making and publishing that book. So the work that we have done with some of the tools, and we're going to go over this here in a little bit, has really made it so that we have now that foundation, right? We connect our text, and we're going to be looking, let's go to the next page, the next chapter, so we can talk a little bit more about this. So yesterday I talked about Scarborough's reading rope and the connection and the research that is out there, for which there is a lot on reading and writing, and how the interconnectedness I talked about of reading, writing, communication, and listening are all intertwined, and they're all connected. And it's really hard to kind of break those pieces apart. But this rope, I love how it really kind of looks at how a skilled reader and a skilled writer become, and we can take a lot from that. There's not a lot of research out there on writing with individuals with complex communication needs, but we know that it is a skill that they must have in order to be competent AAC users and to be able to express what they want, when they want, where they want, to who they want, right? They need to be able to use writing and reading to be able to do that. So what do we need? So we talked about expanding expression tool. This is a really great multimodality tool that we use to really kind of dig deep and down into that vocabulary, that schema, understanding the words that we're talking about. We have connected text that we're going to be using to how we're going to be writing and what we're writing about, so that we can always go back into our really rich and authentic text that we're diving into and reading. So, you know, in using all of these tools, what it here is that we need these words, right? And to use words, and we don't have them, then we need to describe them. So using the descriptive teaching approach method and bringing those tools, excuse me, out, and to be able to set that foundation, right, to get there and to do that next step. I love that. So here's an example of our building our schema and our vocabulary. So we are using the text from Readtopia, and we're using the Wizard of Oz. We ended up doing this amazing play at the end, and that was just really transformative for our whole school and for my students. And they wrote all of their own lines for this play. And that couldn't have happened unless we had done the hard work. We did this pre-work of looking at and understanding, you know, how can we describe, you know, who is this person? You know, what does it look like? Where? What are the pink parts? And then what else do we know? Some descriptive teaching of, you know, what does the word start with? What letter sound is it? And working through those pieces to build that, to get there, so that then when we came to writing of their lines, which we used a lot of our predictable chart writing to help us with those lines throughout the whole unit of this book. So, but we had to make it fun. This has to be fun. Kids want to be able to dive into this writing. They want to be able to write something that is meaningful to them. And so when you make a big green paper mache head and then you get videoed and you get to see that on the big screen, that's fun. They love that. I love that. It makes my job so fun to be able to do some interesting, some STEM activities that we bring into everything. So grabbing their interest, having meaningful activities, it is the heart of what we do, and getting them excited and involved to do the hard work. This stuff is tough. It's hard for them. It's hard for all of us for writing. So we need to be able to really get this in a safe place and in an exciting place and building that up. And fun is the way to do it. So I love this. I have to play it one more time.
What show they watch?
Isn't that great? Oh my gosh, how fun is that? All right, here we go. And I'm just gonna do this. I love Canva. Let me tell you this, I'm presenting with Canva today. I should have started with this. Yesterday, I was unable to do my videos, and that was so frustrating, and using, you know, other presenting tools. And, you know, I'm done. I'm sold. I'm using Canva. We're gonna celebrate Canva because all my videos are playing right now. Hopefully I won't jinx it, but throw a little bit more confetti onto it because we need to celebrate that fun. Okay, here we go. So we're still building our schema. We did a lot of work. Like I said, I used Readtopia. We were doing a fact or fiction unit with the Wizard of Oz. And this is some of the pre-work that we did to talk about when you're asking for help in our predictable chart writing, using our I can ask, right? Our sentence stem that uses core words, which is the heart of predictable chart writing, then them adding to the end. But if they didn't know the words, it didn't understand what asking for help meant to them, I would have kids just look at me. And so we had to go back and pre-teach. We had to go back and teach this vocabulary. We had to go back and teach meaning and bring meaning into this. And how fun is this when you get to add a video of yourself, remove the background so it looks like you're the star of the show? That's cool. And they love that. So we were able to get some, again, meaningful engagement, kids really diving in and wanting to be part of this. So, oops, I went too far. Okay. So on my left here, we have the write the chart. Pretty typical on how I go about writing a predictable chart. We have our question up on top, our idea, our main, our green group, if you're looking into the EET tool, and then our sentence stem, I can ask. I do a lot of idea generating with them. We write all those ideas out, and then we write the chart down below. So this is how I typically go about it. We have these charts up in our room. We go back when we reread the chart. We look at different pieces within our writing. So we look at, we were working with the letter K, so we went and highlighted the letter K. We were looking at punctuation, so we made sure we went back and did and talked about punctuation. We used this chart throughout our whole process, all 5 steps. So it's really important to have something. And so I was trying to figure out, how could we do this in Canva? How could I always come back to this chart? So what we started out with, and because we were doing the Wizard of Oz, I started out with a background, just really basic, of the map of Kansas. And then I brought in their ideas and their words that we had from this previous slide. So I grabbed these, brought them in, and added them here. So we have now our chart, our ideas that we have done. And so we now are going to go and we're going to, with this chart, each kiddo then gets to choose their background color. They get to choose their GIFs that they want, or GIFs, however you pronounce it, that they want. If they want to bring in some of these that are more animated, we can do that. These are our ideas. And from there, then we write our chart. We write those words and we do it together. They are then also dictating to me what I'm putting on here, right? So what I have is I have this on the big screen. They're using their talkers. They have a printed version of this that they did earlier. We did together. When I need help, I can ask. I have that up. They have everyone has their own. And then we come back and then they dictate. So now we've done all this pre-work. And now we're going to use our AAC devices for writing. And that's amazing. So they tell me what to write. I can ask my teacher. And then if they forget the period at the end, the punctuation at the end, we kind of like, oh boy, are you telling me something? Or are we doing some writing? Which one are we doing? What is this purpose we have here? So, oh, writing, great. How do we get there? We go to our keyboard page. We go in to get their punctuation. We add that. So that they are dictating to me, I'm typing it into Canva so that they can see their writing come alive up on the screen. So their next area is read the chart. And so I have I'm working with sentence strips. So this is my dear little friend, Callie, with her and her little group that I have. I did the more traditional piece of having it written on a literal chart and having that up. And then we would have videos and pictures of meaningful activities for them. So she wrote, I can ask mom and I can ask aunt. So mom sent me pictures of her and Callie's auntie, and then we brought them up on the screen. And so we, kind of suspect a little bit from her some CVI. So we want to make sure that we're bringing in all of the pieces, having kind of a background that's distraction free, having that pop up for her. So here we're going to watch a video of her and I working with sentence strips. Callie uses now, she has a very distinct yes, where she looks at us and looks up, and then a very distinct no, where she looks away to the side. So we're looking at now, we're cutting up our sentence strips. And one of the features of doing this is really giving kids that chance to be able to work with words, right? To have meaningful input into working with letters that form words, that form sentences. And so this activity is super important. And we end up spend a lot of time on the idea generating and writing the chart. And then we spend a lot of time rereading and working with these sentence strips. Sometimes this takes us a couple days actually to get through because it's such an important piece. And it's also a piece that I feel that our students, I know with me, my students did not have access to that until I started doing predictable chart writing. They didn't have access to telling me where a word starts and where a word ends. They didn't have access to manipulating words around. And, once we know better, we do better. And, I'm thankful that I'm always forever trying to learn and make sure that my practice is up to date and the best possible evidence-based practices that we have and within the research. So this is what you're going to see is Callie and I working with some sentence strips.
Words, I see you looking. My aunt. I'm going to ask you some questions. You're ready? Yes. Should I cut between the M and the Y? Yes. Or should I cut between the Y and the capital A? No. Okay. You told me to cut between the M and the Y. I'm going to do that. And then you can stop.
So you notice that I didn't correct her. Working with sentence strips and doing this work, we want them to explore what this looks like. We want them to work with letters and words, right? It's okay. I'm not going to draw a line between where they should cut. Even though the first time I did this, all my wonderful, wonderful paras, they're like, but they're not going to know where. And I'm like, I know, it's okay. It is okay. Our students need time. They need access to make mistakes. They need to be able to explore what that looks like. The teaching then can come after. And so that's what we're going to see next. Oop, I went too fast. Okay, here we go. So in Canva, what I did in rereading the sentences and writing our sentences is I would put it on our big board, and we also wrote them like this. So we did a couple different ways of working together in writing our sentences and then bringing them in. So here on the side in Canva, then also, what did we do? So now everybody wrote their sentences. We printed them out. We worked with them. You can see here, and you'll see it when I play this video, that we were highlighting certain words. I wrote these words out on sentence strips. They've already done the work of cutting them. And we already did the rework if they cut between, like Callie did, between in the middle of a word, how we went back and taught how we needed to cut between the words, that letters make words and the words together make sentences. And so now this is the working with the sentences, putting them back together. And you're going to see how we use a lot of modeling to do that.
Together, they're all mixed up. You have to write your sentence.
Oop. It was working last night. Let's just give it a minute to buffer and then.
What we're going to do, you work on that. Here's your model. You also used your icons and your talker. I can ask Sharon.
My teacher.
So if you're not sure where you start, you can use this model. Let's look. I want you to look and see, Steffi.
Yeah.
Does it look exactly like the sentence that you wrote here or the sentence that you wrote here?
Teacher.
What do you think? What comes first?
I.
Let's look at your sentence. What do you think? Is that the first word in your sentence?
Yeah.
It is, but is it now? Is this the first word? It's not. You have it as a second word. You have can as the first. How could you fix that? What could you do? Yeah, is yours done?
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at this. There might be something wrong with these two words.
Why?
And I know that you can't really see it with I, because it doesn't matter which way. But we have this. What could you do to fix this word? Because you needed to make it look like this. Oh, it was upside down. Nice job. So Steffi, what's the first word? What's the first word that you're going to put down?
I
So bring it down. Mm-hmm.
can my ex-teacher.
Great. Well, let's look at that. Let's look at that. I like how you really were thinking about what you could do. You have, now remember, we want it to be the sentence you wrote here. We're practicing building it. Let's listen.
I can ask my teacher.
Let's see if that's what you did. I can my ask teacher. Something's wrong.
What's that wrong?
So what's wrong? You have I can my. Here we have I can ask. What could you do to fix it? Does my come next? I can
No.
ask. I can ask. Which one is ask? So bring it down. I can ask. I can ask. What comes next?
My
My.
teacher.
Teacher's at the end. And we know that because it always gives it away. There's a period. That's always at the end. Eli, you were fixing yours. Let's see if you did it. Gave you some time to think about it. Did you look here? Did you look here too? Yeah, you were looking at your models to help you. Let's read it.
Me too.
Ready? I.
Look.
So you have I. Well done. What's your next word? Let's look here at your model.
Peppermelon. Melon.
If you can't read it, let's use your talker because it's here. So you built your sentence.
I can ask Sharon.
So what did you hear? What comes after I?
Okay.
Let's listen again. Are you ready, Steffi?
Yeah.
Maybe we can ask a friend.
I can ask Sharon.
What comes next? Because it went really fast.
Teacher.
What comes after I? Can you help, Eli? What comes after the word I in our sentence?
Hey.
What word is this?
Hey.
Can. I can. So which word is can? Which word looks the same? Is it ask or is it can? Yeah, you're right, because that has the k sound. Excuse me, let's move it over. I can. The next word is what does it start with?
Max.
Ask. Ask. I can ask.
Sharon.
Sharon. Well done. Nice job. Well done. Nice job. I like how you guys built your sentences.
I'm gonna show mommy.
Great
I'm
job.
gonna show mom.
We'll be able to take your book home at the end. We'll print one off for you.
Show mommy.
You want to show mom too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we
Hey,
can do
Daddy.
that.
Hey, baby.
I think that we can do that.
Show Daddy.
All right, you guys, what we're gonna do is on the back of our paper, in the back here, we're gonna glue, I can ask Sharon. And you're gonna glue yours. You're gonna glue, I can ask my teacher. Okay, I'm gonna get your glue sticks. Nice work, you guys did hard work today writing. Well done, you should feel proud.
I'm happy.
Yeah, you should feel proud. What did we do? First, we made it on the computer. Then, where did we build it on? We built it on
I can ask my teacher.
our talkers, and we used our icons. We used our QWERTY keyboard. Yeah, and then we made sure, what did we put at the end?
Dog.
It's a dot, a period. I'm glad that you remembered that, a period, because that tells us our sentence is done. It tells us our sentence is done. Then we cut them out. You knew, Eli, you knew to cut the word out in between the spaces, right?
Have 7.
I love your reading. Your reading's great. Well done. And then we put them together. Now it's time to glue.
Yay!
Let me get some glue.
So a lot is going on there in that video. So I hope that you were able to see a few pieces, but we really started, this is where the teaching happens. This is where the reading happens and the writing comes together and the speaking and the listening all intertwine. That's why I love writing so much with my students. So it is really a powerful tool to be able to bring our students along this journey of becoming a writer, becoming an author, using their AAC device, not just for communication, verbally, but in communication written. And that's really, it's such an important piece. So I think also in there, you saw us, really taking the time. This took a lot of time, and we did it again, and we do it multiple times because it is the work. It is the piece of them being able to explore and look and have time to make mistakes, and then time to figure out, something's wrong. I'm not really sure. Oh, my word is upside down. I need to fix that. Or, hey, I have the wrong sentence structure. I need to fix that. And so if we don't have time for that editing process, right, for our users who use AAC, we need to give them that time. They need to edit their work. And all writers do that editing. And so that working with sentences, I see, is that emergent editing type skill that they do. So we need to celebrate that. We're going to throw some confetti again because that was absolutely amazing. So, okay, how are we doing on time? Great. Oh, we're doing good. Okay, the next section here is Be the Chart. I have to admit that it's the one area of the 5 that I do sometimes struggle with doing, because we oftentimes I'll only have 2 kids in a group, and so there's so many words, and it just, I haven't found the right mix yet for me. When we're on Canva, I feel like we've already have been, we already are acting it out and being the chart. So this is a piece that I have to admit I need to figure out. So I haven't, just like I said, I haven't quite gotten there yet and figured out how to do that the best. But the point of being the chart is this multimodality approach, this being able to move pieces around, be a word and explore, another chance to edit, right? Another chance to be that sentence, to edit that sentence, to feel it, to manipulate it, and to move around. So I was thinking about this, on our trip of my journeys this summer so far, and really thinking about how could we use some different online tools to be able to manipulate and move words around. And I think I have some ideas, so more to come on that. But so I love this image. When we were doing, this was back last spring, where we did, again, Readtopia's Dr. Dolittle, which we also presented a little finger play, which was super fun. And the kids had such a great time. And they wrote their sentences, their lines of the play again, using predictable chart writing. And so here to the left, we were working with those sentences and working with those words and moving and being those words around. But I didn't think it was enough to just, we were talking about I can help. So we wanted to not just be the sentence there, but we wanted to be the sentence, do the sentence that we were doing. So my friend Lisa here in the picture, who my friend Steffi, who is animated right here, are sisters. And so my friend Lisa said that she wanted to, I can help a friend. And we did a very extensive work with her, their class, their third grade class, in teaching them how and what AAC is. So everyone in their room had a core board. They were able to interact. They had access to a dynamic display, an iPad with the app on it that the girls use. And so all the students were able to interact with their AAC user peers, right? And wow, talk about breaking down barriers for kids, opening up lines of communication with their neurotypical peers. It was just really great. So Lisa wanted to help her friend be a better AAC communicator. She let us know that. And that's what she really wanted to do when she said, I want to help a friend. So we brought over one of her friends, and here Lisa's doing, and I wish I would have gotten some video from it because it was so brilliant. It's always in those moments you're like, where's my phone? How can I get the video on? She was showing him how to write the sentence that she was working on, which is, I can help a friend, and teaching him the icons and the path that he needed to use and where they were located. And it was just very amazing for her to be in that teacher role, for her to be the expert in what she's doing and teaching her neurotypical peers on how to communicate with her. It was super powerful. So we just don't, work with those words and being the chart, but then we are the chart. We are those words, right? So, and I think I wrote be the chart. It should be the sentence. Sorry, I just realized that. So we really want our kiddos to find that, again, meaningfulness within their writing. So this was this was a great example. Okay. Then our last piece is make and publish a book. So again, on the left, I have pretty traditional. What I would do is, we go and we find pictures that are meaningful. We put our words that we cut out and worked on a piece of paper, and we bind that and we send that home. And we read this book over and over again during our unit. And at the end of the unit, I send it home. So very pretty traditional, love that. It still has a place and we use that. And then I thought, okay, how can I take that to the next step? How can we do this with Canva? And so here is our Canva make and publish a book. And just really quick. So we have their individual pictures with their sentences that they chose. And they chose the pictures. We have the interactiveness going on with Canva. I tried to get me and take background out of it and have me animated as well, but I didn't get to that. So, but they wrote these, put this together, and then what I can do is I can share this with their families. So we printed it out so that they had a print copy, but I also shared this with their family and emailed to them so that they could see the interactiveness, and then their student could read this book with them. And that was pretty powerful. So thank you. Those were the 5 steps of using that. I said that there was a little Canva on the side. And so I thought it might be great, here's some resources, but for us to also maybe go through and show you a few tools. I know for me, when Lauren and Sarah did that, it was really kind of turned on the light bulb of everything that some of the things that I could do. I have not done them all. We have not explored. I've just started, and I'm excited about what we can do with this. So you know what? I know Canva for me just makes it cool, but everyone that's here today, you guys are making it possible. So I'm taking it again to the next step, just amping it up a little bit in how we can do this. So I'm just gonna show you a few more examples, and I think I have a few minutes here. So this is when we were working with the tortoise and the hare. We could bring in some videos into Canva so that the kids could really understand what, she talked about a platypus, so no one knew what that was, so we brought video in of platypus. All of this is built right into Canva. So she really this student wanted, a dinosaur, which was, and I have to say, this was pretty amazing because I am not a very good speller. And so I'm like, and I'm typing on the screen, if I would be a dinosaur, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my student, I am not sure how to spell dinosaur. And so she was able to take her talker, find the icon, and then go to her QWERTY keyboard and then tell me for each letter on how to spell dinosaur. It was so powerful. And here we have, the owl and then a sea urchin. I didn't realize that they could move so fast, but they really can. When I go diving, I only see them stuck in one spot. So some really, really powerful things for them to bring in. And then they chose their background, then they chose their animated picture that they wanted as we wrote this out, and then we printed it out, and then we also sent them to their families so that they could see that and see how meaningful it was for them to have this animation added on. I love this eagle. It did such a great job. So it was pretty great. Okay, so we're gonna step out of this for just a minute. I'm going to hide that bar and bring that here. So in Canva, Canva is free for all teachers when you sign up with an email through your school district. So that is free for you. So that is an amazing tool. I went ahead and I just loved it so much. I just bought it. I think it was, I don't even know how much it was. It wasn't expensive. So how you start is that you start with getting, there's so much that you can do. Let me move me out of the way so that I can show you the screen. So they have lots of templates here. You can search the different types they have presentation. This is where I start with my students. Sometimes I start with one that is built. Sometimes I start with a blank background. So here I went and chose this fun guy right here of having this already kind of pre-built. And you can come in and you can move these around. Maybe I don't want them in there. Maybe they're okay and they move. Maybe not. We're going to take them out. We can delete them. I can bring in my own video, which is just usually, a plug and play, just a drop and bring it in. And maybe I have a picture or an image of something that I want to bring in, and I want to take kind of the background out of it and place it on. So let me bring this picture here. I'm going to stop that because I'm using up a lot of bandwidth by coming in here. So I have this picture here that I want to use, right? But I really just want to highlight some of this. This is a great tool built into Canva where you can come in here and you can remove the background. And so it will do the work for you. If you have a picture that you find online, well, that's working. I'm just going to show you here. This Remove BG is a great free resource. I use it all the time to remove backgrounds of still JPEG pictures. And it's so easy. You just drag and drop an image in there, and then it will remove that background. Let's see what it did, if it did it. So here we go. So now I have this piece that I have this picture, and I'm going to bring it here, and I want it to kind of pop out of the scene. And I'm going to bring this topic over. And so remove the background, and now I can put some animation in there, background, or whatever it is that I'm looking at to bring this alive. One of the things that I do is I also bring in video, and where you can then remove the background. So here are pictures of like my little friend Eli, where I uploaded I took it on my phone, sent it to my email address, I downloaded it, I brought it up into, where are we at? This one on screen. And if you bring this video clip up here, you can just drag and drop, bring the video, and then it works at removing the background. I'm not even really sure what video I have here. Oh, this is my friend Lisa telling our people at the front desk that we need more soap in the bathroom. So she was letting us down. Happens super fast. Then you can download it as it's fixing it, and then you just upload that right into your Canva presentation. So as when it pops up here, right here, you'll see, and it doesn't take long, and I'm not on very good internet right now, so our bandwidth is a little slow here on the farm in Kansas. Okay, so here we go. So it is done. And now I'm just going to bring it and I'm just going to drag and drop that. And it is going to, I love how it's filling up, you know, when it's going to be done. And bring that into our presentation here. So you can change the background. What I love about this is that it will photo color to my picture that I have. So if here are the pictures and the color palette that it is done. And so now I can go and I can bring in, I can bring in some of the different pictures and colors that we have. And so that it color matches, which makes it so easy to get a really beautiful looking presentation, you know, for an activity for our students, right? Our kids want to have things that look nice as well. So here then they get to choose what kind of, you know, print they want. We go through that, they get to choose how big it is, what color they want. All of these items are then chosen. Maybe they want to put in an element of like, you know, help. So they can choose that. We can choose videos of help. You know, they can give different, which really brings that idea of schema and background building, right? That building of their background knowledge of what help means. So it is such a powerful tool. I love how this works. You can then animate, you can put the timing in, you can, you know, all the pieces. You can share this then by either sending a link to people. You can download this. You can download it in a PDF or an MP4 video. That's what you saw earlier with our homemade book. I will do that so that parents can see that what we're doing and send it to them so that they can print it out. So lots of different options in Canva. I wish the option to remove background in videos was there, but that's not there yet. So hopefully that'll be coming. But if not, it's not hard to use tools like Unscreen or even Remove BG. There has been times when I have gotten to a few pictures that weren't in a JPEG format. You can find a free thing online to do that as well. So okay, so here we go. I have a few minutes. I did say that if anybody had some questions that we would go to that. So
okay, so Sharon, there's a couple questions in the Slack. The first question regarding kind of earlier in the presentation when you showed the video of you working with the student and manipulating the words within the sentence on the
Yeah.
sentence strip. They were wondering if that picture model or the paper model that you were using that was printed out, if that was just a printout of the Canva slide, or if
Yeah,
that was
it
a
is.
different model. Okay.
Nope. So the printout model on this page right here, I think is what. So what's right here is the printout of our Canva slide, that the work that we did. So them generating their sentence and their final sentence after they kind of came up with their ideas and we narrowed it down to one sentence, then we printed it out. To work with the sentence, I would have had to take a lot of time to manipulate the words and make them really big and print them out. I could have done that. I was just pressed for time, so I just wrote them out on sentence strips. And so when we were working and manipulating these, I just printed out.
Okay, great. And then it looks like the only other question we have is regarding the Canva presentation. It looks like it's currently shared as view only, and some people are wondering if you would be willing to share it so it can be downloaded.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I absolutely. What I can do is, and that's really here, I'll even show you how to do. If we download it, the problem is downloading it, it's really in a PDF for print is the easiest way. If you want to see the animation is through the link. So I will just do that and download it and send it to you guys so we can put it in, see if it gets done quick enough and in time to put it into the chat. So
okay, great.
we'll see if that video or if the time it takes, if we have enough time. So you can see how really easy, it really depends on your speed of your internet. And so I'll just stop the share for now and try to get that in. Let's see here.
There is one last comment. Someone was just wishing that homeschool parents could get Canva for free. I don't know if anyone else on the call or if you know anything about that.
I don't know about that. I think it would be, I'm going to have to mail this to you. Can I send this to you in an email really quick to get on, or to?
Sure.
How about I could send that, and then I'll send it to Melissa in a little bit, actually, the presentation, the PDF, and then she can post it on the website with that.
Sounds good.
Materials. I'll do that. I know that there's many homeschoolers still connected through the state and getting materials and things like that. My suggestion would be to call your person that you are connected with to get your materials, and that helps you with some of those materials in the homeschool field, or to just reach out to Canva and let them know, that you're homeschooling and would love to be able to use this, and see what they say. They might be fine with it. So I know it wasn't, I think it was probably, I don't know, $6 a month. I think maybe I paid between $60 or $100 for the whole year for that. So, but I know that's a lot of money. So for families on a tight budget. So I'd check with Canva and see what they say.
Okay, great. It looks like that's it for our questions.
Okay. Great.
All right. So with that, we'll go ahead and end the presentation. Sharon, thank you so much. That was amazing. So helpful. Yeah. Hope you have a great day.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, this afternoon, we'll be back at 3 o'clock with my kibble. So we're
Awesome.
excited for that one. All right.
All right. Thank
See you
you.
later. Yep.